Alright guys, welcome back to another video. This is actually my first time talking on any of these, so I'm kind of nervous, but yeah, it is what it is. In today's video we're gonna be making a stylized medieval watchtower in Blender, so let's get to it. First off, we need to add a cylinder because the main shape of our watchtower is a cylinder with some loop cuts and extrudes and in and out. So the first thing we need to add here is a cylinder, and then we'll go to edit mode and select the top face, scale it down a little bit, and then I to insert, extrude, scale down a little bit more, then insert again. Now we're gonna extrude this up and scale, and here we're gonna press E but then right click to cancel because we want to scale it like this. And then extrude once more, another scale, insert, so our main shape of our watchtower is gonna look like this. But I want to adjust that a little bit, so I'm just gonna scale the bottom part a little bit more and make it a little taller. Basically it's gonna look like this, and I need this part to be a little bit more taller as well. And of course I'm gonna add bevel modifier, because I kind of like that roundness it gives to objects, and it just makes it more stylized, it's just cooler, and I just add bevel to everything, every object in my scene. So this is gonna be our main shape, the basic shape of our watchtower, and then we're gonna add windows. Now I'm just gonna come over here and add a cube, scale it down, and we're gonna apply scale. The main reason we apply scale is because if we don't, when we want to bevel two edges, it's gonna look like this. See, it's not perfectly round, but when you apply scale, it's gonna look like this, and it give us a perfect roundness on the edges we select. So I'm gonna bevel this and then select this face, insert, and extrude. So this is gonna be our window for our castle, or our watchtower. And we're just gonna add a mirror modifier so we cover both sides, and some little adjustments just to get everything in the right place. And after that, we need to have an entrance for our castle. We need to add a door right here. So we're gonna add another cube on this side of our watchtower. Gonna put it right here and scale it down a little bit. And the same thing we did with the window. We select these two edges, we apply scale, and then bevel the top face. So this is actually the basic shape of our entrance. And then bevel modifier as well, and shade smooth. And I'm just gonna duplicate this and scale it down, because I don't know what you call it, but this is gonna be maybe the frame of the door. I don't know what should I call it, but I'm just gonna add another part to our door, and again apply a scale. You see, when you apply a scale, it kind of, you know, corrects the adjustments you did to your object. So I'm always applying a scale to every object I have in my scene. And now we need some wooden path on our door, so I'm just gonna insert and extrude in, and for the, you know, wooden panels on the door, I'm just gonna add another cube. We're gonna put it here. Do our adjustments, bevel modifier as well. And then we're gonna add array modifier. We just create these wooden panels on our door. We need a little bit of adjustment here, so I'm just gonna do that. A little distance maybe. And once we're finished, I'm gonna apply these array modifier, and I'm just gonna clean things up, you know, just get it out of sight. So this is the wooden panel on the main entrance. And of course we need a handle for our door, so I'm just gonna add another cube, and I'm gonna put it here. And then I need two other separate woods on this panel, so I'm just gonna duplicate this, right click, and then I'm gonna just scale it down, and put it like this. On our main handle, and then another mirror modifier to cover both sides. It's gonna look like this, and then we need a ring, a golden ring which sticks here. So I'm just gonna add, from the curve menu, I'm gonna add a circle. And we're gonna put it here, right there. and then we're gonna come here, geometry, and we're gonna increase the depth value, so it should look like this. And again, some little adjustments to our shapes, and maybe some bevel on these edges with Control B. Just, you know, to make it more stylized and round-ish type of object. So it should look like this. And that's it for our main entrance to the Watchtower. Next step, we need stairs. You know, so I'm just gonna use our main object to create stairs. I always prefer duplicating and separating faces rather than adding lots of, you know, new shapes and objects. I just want to keep everything, you know, simple, and just use duplicates and copies and pastes to make new objects. So here we need 2 stairs. I'm just gonna use these shapes, I mean faces, and duplicate them, and then P to separate. And I'm just gonna select them all and extrude them in Y-axis. So it should look like this, you know, kind of round stair around the entrance. And for the bottom one, same as we did with the top one, we're gonna select these edges, I mean faces, and Shift D to duplicate, right click to cancel, and P to separate the selection. And same as the top one, select all with A, and then E to extrude in Y-axis. So there we go. Now we have stairs, entrance, and our main Watchtower object. Now we need to add some details. I want to add some, you know, some bricks that stick out from the main building. So I'm just gonna add a lot of loop cuts here, let's say 15 or 16, and then I'm just gonna select some random faces and here, and let's say here, just some random faces. And then again, Shift D to duplicate, right click to cancel, P to separate the selection. And now we can add solidify modifier to give them a little thickness. But note that we need to, I mean, the solidify modifier needs to be on top, so it would be applied first. If it isn't, your object's gonna look like this. So the thing you need to do here is to just pick the solidify modifier and drag it on top. These are looking kind of bold, so I'm just gonna decrease the value of bevel, and then I'm just gonna scale them down. Make them a little smaller, and there we go. Now we have just some stylized-ish details on our Watchtower. Next step, we need to add some details on top. So from here, I'm just gonna put our cursor here and add a cube like this, and select this face and extrude, I mean scale a little bit. like this. Scale this part as well. And then here's a trick. I want to have 5 of these cubes around the top of my watchtower. So the thing I need to do is I right click on my object and I'm gonna set the origin to the 3D cursor. Note that before adding this object I put the 3D cursor right here. So now with setting the origin of the object to the 3D cursor, I can rotate it around the object I have. So I'm just gonna duplicate this and just, you know, put it around my object. So it should look like this, and then I'm gonna select them all, Control J to merge them together, and add a bevel modifier, and of course applying scale. So it's gonna look like this. And then we need a pole, because you know we're gonna have a flag on top of our watchtower, so we need a pole. I'm just gonna add a cylinder. And I'm just gonna duplicate this and put it on top. And I'm just gonna duplicate the top face and separate it, because I want to make it look like a sharp thingy on the top of this pole. So I'm just gonna extrude this up, and then we're gonna go to vertices and right click and merge vertices at center. So it's gonna look like this. We're gonna make it a little bigger, and here. And I'm just gonna add bevel modifier to everything I had. And then here we need 2 kind of handles so our flag gets stick to it. So I'm just gonna add no, I'm not gonna add another cylinder. I'm just gonna select this, duplicate it and scale it down, apply scale, and I'm just gonna put it here, rotate it and scale it down. And I'm gonna duplicate again, rotate again, and put it right here, like this. And then the distance between these two is where our flag needs to be. So I'm just gonna select them both, and then Shift S, cursor to select it. And here we're gonna, from curve menu, we're gonna add a path. And after that, we just create some random movements to our flag, like this. Then I'm gonna select this vertex, and with Alt S I can extrude it up and down. By activating this proportional editing mode, I can scale more than one vertex at the same time. I'm just gonna make it look like this, and we're gonna add a little depth to it like this, just to make it more stylized and, you know, better looking. So we're nearly finished with our scene. We just need to add some details here. For the ground, I want to add a cylinder shaped kind of platform under my watchtower. So it should look like this. Bevel modifier as well. And then we're gonna add a plane surface here. For some details, I'm gonna add some plants and stones here on our platform. So I'm just gonna add some paths from the curve menu. I'm gonna rotate them. And then again with Alt S and the value of 0, we're gonna make some stylized grass, type of grass maybe, on our platform. And from now on it's just, you know, duplicating and just moving things around, scaling up and down, you know, changing directions. It's not anything challenging or particular. It's just doing random things with random objects. And adding some stones with UV sphere. We're gonna go to edit mode, select some random vertices, and enable proportional editing to just, you know, move them around and make them look like a couple of stones. So that's it, guys. Thank you for your amazing support. Don't forget to check out my other videos, and also don't forget to tell me what you think down in the comments, and have a nice day.